Quran أو
Sure.
Quran. Yes, you read that. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
I, Mohammed Tobi Bidu, having been elected a member of the National Assembly, do swear.
Raise the Quran. Okay.
I repeat. I, Mohammed Tobi Bidu, having been elected a member of the National Assembly, do swear in the name of Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people and the Republic of Kenya, that I will obey, respect, uphold, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, and that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a member of Parliament. So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. You can proceed and sign the oath.
Thank you.
The Honorable Abubakar Talib. Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have 2 communications to make. The first one is on the reintroduction of bills and the manner of initiating legislative proposals to amend the Constitution through parliamentary initiative. Honorable members, I wish to welcome you back to the House following the swearing-in, induction, and the official opening. It is my hope that the events have been beneficial and enriching to your knowledge of the House and its workings as we commence the 13th Parliament. As you are aware, and for the benefit of the new members, the period before the approval of the Cabinet and the formation of committees is usually characterized by light business in the House and is therefore somewhat relaxed. This is attributable to less business emanating from the executive or committees for consideration by the House. Once the Cabinet and principal secretaries are fully in place, the House calendar becomes crowded with majority and minority party businesses. Honorable members, I also wish to bring to the attention of the House that going by our practices and standing orders, all business that was not concluded at the end of the last Parliament has lapsed. However, in its wisdom, the 12th Parliament amended the standing orders to save certain business from part of the pre-legislation processes. In particular, the House amended Standing Order 114A, 1C, and D to exempt certain bills from pre-publication scrutiny upon their lapsing, to allow members to reintroduce the bills if they so wish. Honorable members, for clarity, the Standing Order 114A, 1C, and D states as follows, and I quote, Speaker to exempt certain legislative proposals. 11A1, the Speaker may exempt a legislative proposal from the provision of Standing Order 114, in brackets, introduction of bills, if the proposal, C, is identical to a proposal that was passed by the House but lapsed at the expiry of the term of the preceding Parliament, or D, was introduced by the same member and read a second time but lapsed at the expiry of the term of the preceding Parliament. In this regard, honorable members, the House provided a window that allows expedited reintroduction of bills. The first category relates to the expedited reintroduction of bills that were passed by the House in the last Parliament but lapsed in the Senate. The second category allows consideration of bills which had gone beyond second reading. Honorable members, under the new procedure, these bills can now be republished in the same form as initially passed by the House and are exempted from pre-publication scrutiny. In this regard, the bills which may benefit from the expedited reintroduction under the first category are as follows. 1. The Livestock and Livestock Products Marketing Board Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Mandera North, the Honorable Bashir Abdullahi MP. 2. The National Youth Council Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2019, which was sponsored by the former nominated member, the Honorable Gideon Keter. 3. The National Disaster Management Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Kikuyu, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah MP. 4. The Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2019, and the Parliamentary Pensions Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2019, which were initially sponsored by the then member for Undanyi, the Honorable Andrew Mwadime. 5. The Equalization Fund Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Tiati, the Honorable Kasait Kamket MP. 6. The Crops Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 25 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Matuga, the Honorable Tandaza Kazim Sawa, MP. 7. The Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2019, which was sponsored by the Mother of the House, the member for Super, the Honorable Mili Odhiambo Mabona MP. 8. The Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Ruiru, the Honorable Simon Kingara MP. 9. The Health Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 64 of 2019, which was sponsored by the then member for Keses, the Honorable Swarab Mishra. 10. The Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 65 of 2019. This bill was sponsored in the last Parliament by the then member for Homa Bay County, the Honorable Gladys Wanga. Can the honorable members at the bar take their seats? (11) The Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 68 of 2019, which was sponsored in the last Parliament by the then member for Kandui, the Honorable Wafula Wamunyinyi. 12, the Community Health Workers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 30 of 2020, which was sponsored in the last Parliament by the member for Ndiwa, the Honorable Martin Peters Owino MP. Honorable members, in light of the foregoing, the bills that were sponsored by former members, any member is at liberty to take them up and have them reintroduced. 8. In this regard, sponsors of the bills or any other member who is interested in publishing any of the aforementioned bills is encouraged to write to my office seeking approval to introduce a specified bill from the above list. The earlier you do this, the better for you. Honorable members, it is of course expected that those who have been re-elected or nominated back to this House would naturally take up their respective bills from the list that I've read to you. Honorable members, the second category refers to expedited reintroduction of bills which went beyond second reading but lapsed before consideration at the Committee of the Whole. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 114A1D, this can be reintroduced by the same members who initially sponsored them and would be exempted from pre-publication scrutiny. The bills in this category include the following. 1. The Public Service Commission Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 27 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Embakasi Central, the Honorable Benjamin Gadhiru Mwangi MP. 2. The Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 70 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for South Mugirango, the Honorable Silvanus Osoro MP. 3. The Kenya Food and Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 31 of 2019, which was sponsored by the member for Endabes, the Honorable Dr. Robert Bukose. 4. The Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Kimilili, the Honorable Didmas Baraza MP. 5. The National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 45 of 2020, the Penal Code Amendment number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2021, both of which were sponsored by the member for Nakuru Town East, the Honorable David Gikaria MP. Honorable members, the following 29 bills, other bills did not go beyond the second reading, but may be reintroduced by the same or other member pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 114, introduction of bills, after undergoing pre-publication scrutiny. 1. The Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2022, which was sponsored by the member from Mwatate, the Honorable Andrew Mwadime. The Birth and Death Registration Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Gilgil, the Honorable Martha Wangari MP. 3. The Alcoholic Drinks Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 35 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Undanyi, the Honorable Danson Mokuona MP. 4. The Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2020, which was sponsored by the then member for Thika Town, the Honorable Patrick Wainaina. 5. The Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2020, which was sponsored by the then member for Nyaribari Chache, the Honorable Richard Tongi. 6. The Central Bank of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2020, which was sponsored by former nominated member Gideon Keter. 7. The Farmers and Poisons Board Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2021, which was sponsored by the then member for Nandi Hills, the Honorable Alfred Keter. 8. The Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 11 of 2021, which was sponsored by the member for Garissa Town, the Honorable Aden Duale MP. 9, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Embakasi Central, the Honorable Benjamin Gadhiru Mwangi MP. 10, the Poverty Eradication Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Sirisia, the Honorable John Waluke Koi MP. 11, the Higher Education Loans Board Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2020, which was sponsored by the former nominated member, the Honorable Gideon Keter. 12, the Health Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 28 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Kandara, the Honorable Alice Wahome MP. 13, the Institute of Social Work Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill number 31 of 2020, which was sponsored by the member for Kaiti, the Honorable Joshua Kivinda Kimilu MP. 14, the Higher Education Loans Board Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 52 of 2021, which was sponsored by the then member for Chepalungu, the Honorable Gideon Koskei. 15, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2022, which was sponsored by the member for Butula, the Honorable Joseph Oyula MP. 16, the Public Service Internship Bill, National Assembly Bill number 25 of 2021, which was sponsored by the member for Samburu West, the Honorable Naisula Laisuda MP. 17, the Public Audit Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2021, which was sponsored by the then member for Wajir South, the Honorable Mohammed Sheikh. 18, the Child Justice Bill, National Assembly Bill number 11 of 2022, which was sponsored by the member for Suba, the Honorable Milo Odhiambo Mabona MP. 19, the Sexual Offences Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2020, which was sponsored by the Honorable Member Gadhoni Wamshomba MP. 20, the Criminal Procedure Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 41 of 2020, which was sponsored by the Honorable Nelson Koech MP. 21, the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2021, which was sponsored by the Honorable Nimrod Mbai MP. 22, the Whistleblower Protection Bill, National Assembly Bill number 50 of 2021, which was sponsored by the Honorable Irene Kasalu MP. 23, the Geriatric Bill, 2021, National Assembly Bill number 51 of 2021, which was sponsored by the Honorable Gadhoni Wamshomba MP. 24, the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 6 of 2022, which was sponsored by the Honorable Naisula Lesuda MP. 25, the Land Control Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2022, Parties Amendment Bill 2022, that sought to require the Registrar of Political Parties to convey certified copies of all coalition agreements to the clerk of each House of Parliament. 3, the Draft Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill 2022, that sought to streamline the membership of the Committee of Powers and Privileges. 4, the Draft Petitions to Parliament Procedure Amendment Bill 2022, that sought to involve the Public Petitions Committee in the determination of the admissibility of petitions and the full consideration of all admissible petitions. 5, the Draft Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill 2022, that sought to ensure the negative resolutions of the House on statutory instruments are implemented. Honorable members, to this end, the acting clerk of the National Assembly has informed me that the legislative proposals have been finalized. Consequently, to the extent that the 12th Parliament did resolve that the proposals be prioritized, I direct that they be urgently introduced in the House. Honourable members, I have yet another communication to make. Can the members at the bar take their seats? Honourable members, this communication relates to the constitution of the House Business Committee in this session of the 13th Parliament, the first session. Honourable members, as you are aware, today is the first sitting of the House following the official opening of the 13th Parliament last week. By practice, the first business of the House at the beginning of each session is the formation of the House Business Committee. Subsequently, the committee, once constituted, proceeds to determine and set the business of the House. The next set of business that follows is the consideration and passage of several procedural motions under Standing Order 97 relating to limitation of time during debates in the House. Thereafter, with respect to the first sitting following a general election, the House debates the President's address as contemplated under Standing Order 24(6). Honourable members, as you will note from today's order paper, the motion for the approval of the membership of the House Business Committee is not one of the business to be transacted today. This is because a question has since arisen relating to the constitution of the committee with respect to the names of persons under paragraphs B, C, D, and E of Standing Order 171(1). To illustrate this, honourable members, allow me to refer to the Standing Order 171(1). This rule provides that the House Business Committee consists of the following. A, the Speaker, who shall be the chairperson. B, the leader of the majority party or representative designated in writing. C, the leader of the minority party or representative designated in writing. D, the whip of the majority party or representative designated in writing. E, the whip of the minority party or representative designated in writing. F, 9 other members who shall be nominated by the parliamentary parties and approved by the House at the commencement of every session, reflecting the relative majorities of the seats held by each of the parliamentary parties in the National Assembly and taking into consideration the interests of the parties and other than parliamentary parties and independents. Honourable members, from what I have just read, you will note that the House Business Committee consists of a total of 14 members. It is also notable that besides the Speaker, 4 members sit in the committee by virtue of their offices. These are the leader of majority party, the leader of the minority party, the whip of the majority party, and the whip of the minority party. Honourable members, to this end, I wish to inform you that I received a letter dated 21st September 2022 from the Secretary General of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, the Honourable Junet Mohammed, MP. In the letter, the member for Suna East also signs off as the majority whip of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party. In a nutshell, honourable members, the letter conveys that at its parliamentary group meeting held on the 16th to 17th September 2022, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party elected the following as its House leaders in the National Assembly. 1, the Honourable James Opio Wandai, MP, as the leader of the majority. 2, the Honourable Robert Mbui, MP, as the deputy leader of the majority. 3, the Honorable Junaid Mohammed as the majority whip. And 4, the Honorable Sabina Chege MP as the deputy majority whip. Honorable members, I also wish to inform you that I received another letter dated 22nd September 2022 from the member for South Mugirango, the Honorable Silvanos Osoro Onyengo, MP. In the letter, which he also signs off as the majority chief whip of the Kenya Kwanza Coalition, he notifies that in discharge of his role under Standing Order 119A7, the Kenya Kwanza Coalition held its parliamentary group meeting on 16th and 17th September 2022 at Sawela Lodge in Naivasha and elected the following persons to the specified offices. 1, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah MP, the member for Kikuyu constituency, leader of the majority party. 2, the Honorable Owen Baya MP, the member for Kilifi North constituency, deputy leader of the majority party. Honorable members, in this letter, the member for South Mugirango also attaches an excerpt of the minutes of the parliamentary group meeting and a list of members who attended the meeting signed by the attendees. Honorable members, on the same day, I also received a letter from the member for Kikuyu constituency, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah MP, dated 22nd September 2022. In the letter, the member for Kikuyu constituency signs off as leader of the majority party and conveys that the Kenya Kwanza Coalition held its parliamentary group meeting on 16th and 17th September at Sawela Lodge in Naivasha and elected the following persons as the chief whip and deputy chief whip. The Honorable Silvanos Osoro Onyengo MP, member for South Mugirango chief whip, and the Honorable Naomi Jilo Wago, MP, member for Marsabit County, as the deputy chief whip. Similarly, honorable members, the member for Kikuyu constituency also attached an excerpt of the minutes of the parliamentary group meeting and a list of members who attended the meeting, duly signed by the attendees. In his letter to me, the member for Kikuyu constituency indicated that he was discharging his role under Standing Order 20A3A, which requires the name of the person designated as the majority party whip and majority party deputy whip to be communicated to the speaker by the leader of the majority party. Honorable members, on 22nd September 2022, I also received a letter dated 21st September 2022 from the Honorable Jeremiah Ngayu Kioni, identifying the following members as the leadership of the Jubilee Party parliamentary group in the House. The Honorable Shurie Abd Omar MP, member from Balambala, as the leader. The Honorable Samuel Arama MP, member for Nakuru Town West, as the whip. The Honorable Sarah Korere MP, member for Laikipia North, as deputy whip. And the Honorable Adan Kainan MP, member for Elders, as secretary. Can the members at the bar take their seats? Honorable members, order. The distinguished immediate former member for Ndarakwa constituency signs over as Secretary General of the Jubilee Party, and in the letter, he also notes that Jubilee Party remains a member of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. Honorable members, ordinarily and in keeping with the requirement of Standing Order 19A14 and 20A5, following receipt of the names and attendant accompanying documentation, as your speaker, I'm supposed to convey the names of the leadership of the majority party and that of the minority party and the whips of any parliamentary party in the House to the assembled House. If the House is not sitting, the standing orders require me to notify members in the usual manner of Speaker's notification to all members. Honorable members, in this action, it is this action that subsequently sets in motion the next steps. In this case, the clerk would write to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, copying the respective whips, asking for the names of the 9 members nominated to sit in the House Business Committee under Standing Order 17(1)F. Thereafter, the clerk would publish the names in the order paper for approval by the House at its first sitting session, which would have been today. Honorable members, faced with these conflicting correspondences, you will agree with me that it is impossible for me and the clerk to discharge those requirements of the standing orders at this moment. You will also agree with me that from the foregoing, 3 pertinent questions arise at this moment. These are: 1, who is the bona fide leader of the majority party and who is the bona fide leader of the minority party in this House? 2, in absence of a House Business Committee, what business is to be transacted by this House for the next few days before the question of the leadership of the majority and the minority party is determined? 3, before the question of leadership of the majority and the minority party is determined, who is to move the business in the House and whose moving is ordinarily reserved for the party leaders? With respect to the first question, honorable members, I will reserve the rest of today's sitting to allow the House to address me on this matter so that I can make a reasoned retreat and ruling. So I can retreat to make a reasoned ruling and guidance to the House. Honorable members, with respect to the second question on what business to be transacted by this House for the next few days, before the question of the leadership of the majority and the minority parties determined, allow me to guide you as follows. First, honorable members, as you are aware, Standing Order 30 hours of meeting provides that the House shall meet on Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sitting, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. for the morning sitting, and 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sitting, and Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. for the afternoon sittings. It is therefore clear that with or without any scheduled business, the House must sit on the prescribed days and times. Indeed, honorable members, Standing Order 30 dictates that tomorrow the House shall sit in the morning from 9:30 a.m. and in the afternoon commencing at 2:30. That is mandatory, and your Speaker has no authority to stop commencement of a sitting of the House unless in very exceptional circumstances which are not obtaining here. Indeed, as your Speaker, I have constitutional obligation to ensure continuity of the business of this House at all times. The only authority granted to the Speaker with respect to the time of sitting is to vary the time of commencement or adjournment of the sittings, but only for the convenience of the House. Honorable members, further, the Standing Order 38 providing for the preparation and circulation of the order paper obligates the clerk to prepare an order paper indicating the business to be transacted by the House. In this regard, it's also mandatory that before every sitting of the House, there should be an order paper which will be published on the parliamentary website and made available to members at least 12 hours before the House meets. It is for this reason that I authorize the clerk to publish the order paper that is before you this afternoon, and which she also published on the website during the weekend. Honorable members, if you look at the order paper, the business listed there is procedural motions, and for the benefit of new members, a procedural motion is one that concerns the manner or time of consideration of a matter before the House. Procedural motions include motions on limitation of debate, where members are allocated a specific period of time within which they may speak on a matter before the House, and a motion for exemption of business from specified provisions of the standing orders. Honorable members, Standing Order 24.5 provides that whenever the President delivers an address, a member may, as soon as practicable thereafter, lay the address on the table of the House. Standing Order 24.6 further provides that a member may give notice of motion that the thanks of the House be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the address of the President. But debate on the motion shall not exceed 4 sitting days. What is contemplated under Standing Order 24.6 is that the debate on the speech of the President shall not be interrupted by a dilatory motion. Honorable members, by practice of our Parliament, debate on the President's address is accorded priority before any other business, save for procedural motions. It therefore naturally follows the business that is to be transacted by the House for the next 4 sittings is debate on the President's address. This therefore settles the second question. Honorable members, allow me to also note that the debate on the speech of the President ordinarily accords first-time members the solemn opportunity to make their maiden speech in the House. This opportunity for new members, in my view, should not be curtailed by the question of the majority and minority leadership and the composition of the House Business Committee. However, honorable members, it's worth noting that the continuity of the business of the House will not and should not in any way be seen to prejudice the determination of the question of the leadership of the majority and minority parties in the House. In this regard, since there is no objection as to who the Deputy Speaker is, I will exercise my powers under Standing Order number 1 and authorize the Deputy Speaker to move certain business as follows. At Order number 5, I will allow the Deputy Speaker to lay certain papers in the House which have a statutory deadline and which the law requires that they must be laid in the House when it first sits, which is today. 2, at Order number 6, I will allow the Deputy Speaker to give notice of motion on the noting of the President's address. 3, at Order number 8, I will allow the Deputy Speaker to move the procedural motion on limitation of debate on the President's address under Standing Order 97. Moving of the rest of the 10 procedural motions will stand stayed until a later time. And 4, tomorrow morning at Order number 8, I will also allow the Deputy Speaker to move the business under Standing Order 24.6, being the motion on debate on the President's address. This shall give honorable members an opportunity to debate the President's address for 4 sitting days, starting tomorrow morning, Wednesday, 5th October 2022, until Tuesday, 11th October 2022. Honorable members, this now settles the third and last question. The House is accordingly guided, and may I now ask the clerk to read the next orders. After the House concludes with Order number 8, I'll allow the honorable members to address me on the question of majority and minority party leadership. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. 1. Speech by His Excellency the President, delivered on Thursday, September 29th, the year 2022. 2. Legal Notice number 65 of 2022 relating to the capital markets whistleblower regulations of the year 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury and Planning. 3, legal notice number 86 of 2022 relating to the Legal Aid General Regulations 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Attorney General. 4, legal notice number 87 of 2022 relating to the Legal Aid Code of Conduct for Accredited Legal Aid Providers Regulations 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Attorney General. 5, legal notice number 94 of 2022 relating to the Suppliers Practitioners Management Council Election Regulations 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury and Planning. Number 6, legal notice number 95 of 2022 relating to the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. I'll repeat that. Number 6, legal notice number 95 of 22 relating to the Pharmacy and Poisons Conduct of Clinical Trials Regulations 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Health. 7, legal notice number 96 of 2022 relating to the Pharmacy and Poisons Pharmacovigilance and Post-Market Surveillance Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Health. 8, legal notice number 97 of 2022 relating to the Pharmacy and Poison Transportation of Pharmaceuticals Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Health. Legal notice 9, legal notice number 98 of 2022 relating to the Pharmacy and Poisons Amendment Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Health. 10, legal notice number 99 of 2022 relating to the Pharmacy and Poisons Pharmaceutical Waste Management Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Health. 11, legal notice number 100 of 2022 relating to the Pharmacy and Poisons Registration of Health Products and Technologies Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Health. 12, legal notice number 101 of 2022 relating to Crops MIRA Regulations of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works. 13, legal notice number 102 of 2022 relating to the Coffee General Amendment Regulations of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works. 14, notice number 120 of 2022 relating to the National Transport Safety Authority, Transport Network Companies, Owners, Drivers and Passengers Regulations from the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works. 15, legal notice number 141 of 2022 relating to the Kenya Roads Board General Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development. 16, legal notice number 146 of 2022 relating to the Accountants Quality Review Assurance Regulations and of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury and Planning. 17, legal notice number 147 of 2022 relating to the Accountants Standard of Professionals and Practice and Ethical Conduct Regulations and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury and Planning. 18, legal notice number 152 of 2022 relating to the Accountants Examination Rules of 2022 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury and Planning. And finally, number 19, legal notice number 153 of 2022 relating to the Accountants Regulations 2022, and an explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury and Planning.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Honorable members, order.
Speaker, I want you to give us direction. It looks like most of these legal notice are of the previous administration.
Order, Honorable Duale. You're jumping the gun. I have a communication on this. You can intervene after my communication. Honorable members, I have a short communication on the statutory instruments submitted between 4th June 2022 and 4th October 2022. Honorable members, as you may have noticed, this afternoon, in fact a few minutes ago, the Deputy Speaker has laid before the House 18 sets of statutory instruments. The statutory instruments, commonly referred to as regulations, were submitted during the Sindie recess of the 12th Parliament, while others were submitted just after the inauguration of the 13th Parliament. Honorable members, the Statutory Instruments Act number 23 of 2013 provides that upon receipt of such statutory instruments, they should be tabled in Parliament within 7 days, or if the House is not sitting, as soon as possible when the House next sits. In this regard, honorable members, it is for this reason that I have allowed the Deputy Speaker to lay the 18 sets of regulations this afternoon. The consideration of the different regulations will now await the establishment of the Committee on Delegated Legislation. The committee should consider them within 28 sitting days thereafter. Honorable members, on a similar note, by way of letter dated 9th September 2022, the Honorable Attorney General brought to the attention of all state departments and agencies the provisions of Section 21 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013. The effect of this provision is that A, there is a general revocation of statutory instruments 10 years after their making, unless they are repealed or a regulation is made exempting them from expiry. Subject to this provision, all statutory legislations enacted prior to the commencement of the Act stand to be revoked and are thus null and void as from 25th January 2023. B, an extension of the statutory instruments may be made for 12 months, subject to the consultation between the respective Cabinet Secretary and relevant parliamentary committee. Honorable members, it will be recalled that during passage of the Finance Act 2022 in June this year, this House extended the period of automatic revocation of regulations made under the laws relating to tax matters. This includes regulations made under the following statutes. 1, the Income Tax Cap 470. 2, the Stamp Duty Act Cap 480. 3, the Value Added Tax number 35 of 2013. 4, the Tax Appeals Tribunal Act number 40 of 2013. 5, the Excise Duty Act number 23 of 2015. And 6, the Tax Procedures Act number 29 of 2015. Honorable members, it is therefore expected that the state departments and agencies will approach the committee upon its establishment to consider whether similar treatment may be accorded to the rest of the impugned regulations to avoid any form of legislative crisis in the country. Honorable members, what this means is that the entry of the Committee on Delegated Legislation is already full even before it's established. The House is now accordingly informed and guided. Honorable Duale, does that solve your issue?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. We'll now go back to the order. Yes.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give a notice of the following motion: that the thanks of the House be recorded